County Commission meeting, February 23rd, 2023. We'll start with the introductions on the dais.
Chrissy Rachel, Assistant Clerk.
Leslie Hervey, Clerk to the Board.
Stephanie Summerall-Dumas, Commissioner.
Good afternoon. I'm County Commissioner Denise Driehaus.
Jeff Alito, County Administrator.
Charlie Annis, Prosecutor's Office.
And I'm County Commission Board President Alicia Reese. So welcome. We will now make a motion to, we will now do a silent prayer followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. And I just want to ask that we keep, there's been so many fires lately. And I know there was one in College Hill, and just want to keep those families in prayer. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. These chairs are hard to roll on the carpet. We're getting a workout up here. I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second?
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Yes.
Commissioner Summerall-Dumas.
Yes.
And today we have a special presentation regarding Girl Engineering Day, and we have a proclamation. And Vice President Driehaus, is there anything you wanted to say about this?
Yes, this is something that bubbled up from the Commission on Women and Girls, but Mary Mounty has taken the lead on the proclamation and making sure that we recognize county employees that are in the STEM field. And so we've got some county employees joining us here today. And so I think the idea is Mary will come and make a presentation as to the importance of the day and recognize the individuals that have joined us here this afternoon. And then we can read off the proclamation and get a photo with those young women. So Mary, if you want to come forward and talk to us a little bit about the day and the proclamation.
Welcome.
Thank you, President Reese. Thank you, Commissioner Dumas. Thank you, Vice President Driehaus. This week, we at Hamilton County are helping celebrate what is Engineers Week for 2023, which started on February 19th and will run through the 25th of this month. This year's theme, Creating the Future, recognizes how engineers play a vital role in innovating solutions to global challenges that impact future generations. By working together, we know that by developing new technologies, products, and opportunities, engineers and those in STEM careers can create new possibilities that make the world a better place. This Engineers Week, the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners and the Commission on Women and Girls wanted to specifically celebrate today's Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day on this 23rd of February and recognize it as a time when we and others act as role models, can introduce engineering activities, and show girls how engineers change the world. We have a video here that we would like to show that is a quick look at just some of the amazing women who work at Hamilton County and serving in STEM careers and who are helping our community in really important ways.
Hi, my name is Elise Roloff, and I am the Outreach Specialist for Hamilton County Resource. What I do is I go out to different schools, and I work with all sorts of different student groups and adult groups to teach them about how to reduce their waste that goes to the landfill. I originally got into this line of work because I fell in love with animals at a really young age, and I wanted to take care of animals, but I never really wanted to be a vet. So I kind of started exploring. I liked the natural world. I loved being outside. And as I went through college and went through different internships and experiences, I learned that I wanted to work with people in order to help take better care of our planet and our community. So that's how I got into this outreach job, where I get to teach people all about how to take care of the planet. One of the ways that I can tell I've made an impact on the community is when I receive emails with pictures of people's backyard compost piles that they just started or that they're working on, and they're so excited to share with me that they've learned new things from the compost seminars that I taught them, and they're really excited to continue, and they're excited to keep going with their compost.
I'm Keisha Washington. I have 2 years experience with Hamilton County doing air pollution, monitoring the air pollution. I have a background in environmental engineering. I graduated from Cincinnati State. It's a 2-year associate's degree. I have the pleasure of going around and switching out filters. These filters here, I don't know if you can see the dirtiness on it. What this does is suck the air in, and all the pollution lands on the filter. I have 5 different locations that I visit, all switching out filters to monitor the air that we breathe. The main thing I love about being an air pollution technician is the freedom to be able to go to different sites and monitor air in different counties. And I think it has a huge effect on keeping the community healthy, as far as people with like asthma and, you know, sorts of breathing diseases. I get to monitor the air and let the EPA know how much pollution is in the air. That way they know what to regulate, when to regulate, and how to regulate.
Olivia. I work for Southwest Ohio Air Quality Agency as part of the Hamilton County Environmental Services. I am part of a special environmental protection agency program that studies ozone formation. So when I was in high school, I joined the Earth Club, and the following year I had my first chemistry class. I had the best teacher. Her name was Miss Owens. She was very encouraging. I got to take an additional chemistry class in high school, and then after that I got to take a physics class. Between those 3, they definitely helped me decide that a role in science or a career in science was exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I realized that I wanted to be an environmental chemist, and now that's what I get to do every single day. It's pretty great.
All right. That was awesome.
Thank you. So we ask that all of you who are at home and are with us today take a moment to recognize the women in STEM in your lives and for their important contributions to our community, and that you take the opportunity to introduce a girl to engineering and show her how she can also help change the world. Please help me or join me in welcoming some of those that we've highlighted in our video today, and they can come up and stand here while you all read the proclamation, and then we'll give them each a copy. So please welcome Sean Kelly, Director of the Greater Cincinnati STEM Collaborative and co-director of the Southwest Ohio Hub of the Ohio STEM Learning Network. Don't believe that she's here, but I'd love to recognize her anyways. Elise Roloff, who is our outreach specialist for the Hamilton County Resource. Keisha Washington, who is here. Our air pollution technician, too, for the Hamilton County Environmental Services. Olivia Gregerson-Clem, Environmental Tech with Hamilton County Environmental Services. And also not present, but still to be recognized, Haley Golsch, who is an urban technician with the Hamilton County Conservation District. Now we can read the proclamation, please.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for putting this together and bringing this outwardly to our attention, and all the work you're doing with the Women and Girls Commission. And this is huge, and that video is amazing. Hopefully, I'm sure it'll be on our website.
Sure will be.
Okay. Great. Okay, we have a proclamation here today to introduce a Girl to Engineering Day 2023. Whereas science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, are widely regarded as critical to the national and local economy, and whereas Hamilton County recognizes that when volunteers, educators, and others act as role models, facilitate engineering activities, and show girls how engineers change our world, we can help girls develop an interest in engineering and STEM. And whereas researchers have demonstrated a connection between early interest in STEM and subsequent choices to major in STEM in college. However, despite interest in majoring in engineering and computer science increasing over the last 10 years, women's intentions to pursue these majors in college continues to lag men's intentions.
And whereas scientists and engineers are working to solve some of the most vexing challenges of our time, such as, but not limited to, finding cures for diseases, rebuilding after natural disasters, providing clean drinking water, developing renewable energy sources, and designing many of the things we use daily, such as buildings, bridges, computers, cars, wheelchairs, etc. And whereas if women are not involved in designing these products and solutions, the needs and desires unique to women may be overlooked. And whereas attracting and retaining more women in the STEM workforce in Hamilton County will increase innovation, creativity, and competitiveness in our region. And whereas giving women equal opportunities to pursue and thrive in STEM careers helps narrow the gender pay gap, enhances women's economic security, and ensures a diverse and talented STEM workforce.
Whereas Hamilton County is committed to recruiting more women in STEM careers and will work to retain and promote women throughout their careers by providing executive support, continued opportunities for professional development and leadership training. And whereas Hamilton County will provide pay equity, flexibility, training opportunities, mentorship, networking, and strong anti-discrimination and anti-harassment policies to ensure that those interested in STEM careers can work in a stimulating and professional environment. And whereas Hamilton County will look to those in STEM careers to use and show others how they apply their knowledge and skills to meet the challenges facing our community in the 21st century.
Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners recognize today, February 23rd, 2023, as Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day in all of Hamilton County.
Chairs. No, they don't. It's like I'm getting my extra. Wow.
Right. All right, well, that was wonderful. And to let people know you can be an engineer and work for the county. People don't think of these different careers
Absolutely.
for the county, so I got to put a plug in there to work for Hamilton County. All right, we have, we'll go to public comments. We have Derek Newman. Did I say it right? Okay, Derek Newman.
Excuse me.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I came a few weeks ago, got to meet Mrs. Treehouse and got to meet Dumas, and it's nice to meet you, Alicia. I haven't really ever heard anybody like compliment the people, so that's what I want to come here for, is to compliment you guys. I think you're doing a pretty good job. I think City of Cincinnati can learn a lot from you. But also wanted to, oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
You have to repeat all of that again. We didn't hear it.
Oh, you didn't get any of that?
We need
You didn't hear any of that?
for the minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyhow, like I said, you guys doing good. Wanted to, compliment you. Also, wanted to shout out a couple Black-owned businesses. There's Esoteric Brewing. It's over where the Walnut Hills Kroger used to be. They do karaoke on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9. I'm a big karaoke guy. Say my buddy actually runs that. And then also Mangoes up there above the Hooters on Route 4. They got karaoke 9 to 1, man. You guys have to make it out sometime.
Oh,
That's all I got.
thank you.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to come back anytime. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Now we'll open it up for comments, resolutions for our colleagues. I'm going to go ahead and start with Vice President Treehouse, and I'll come back at the end.
Okay, just a couple of things. I represented the commission at a celebration for the Lunar New Year. I guess it was over the weekend. It was on Saturday. Leo Chan, the executive director of the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, and Li Wang, who is the chair of the Chinese Chamber of Commerce Board, asked us to do a proclamation. It was from all three of us, and so I was able to deliver that proclamation at their celebration. So I just want to thank them for once again asking us to help them celebrate the Lunar New Year. Secondly, I went to the event that was hosted by Interact for Health. Kate Schroeder is the new executive director, or I guess CEO of Interact, and they have changed their priorities for the next few years. They are different from where they've been in the past. And so I just wanted to make folks aware that the priorities they identified are policy system change, community power building, and mental health and well-being. So many of us are in this mental health and well-being space. I just was intrigued that they too are going to become a partner in that space. So thank you to Interact for all the work that they've done on behalf of the community in the past couple of years. And then lastly, I was at an event. It was Represent Cincy Meet and Greet. Jared Simmons is the executive director of Represent Cincy. It was down at Nostalgia downtown, and this is a group of African-American entrepreneurs who are looking to partner with government and everybody else to launch businesses in that space. And so I was happy to represent the commission at that event as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Commissioner Dumas?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a few things. Since we last met, I did meet with Michelle Young and Patty Collins as it relates to a youth initiative that they're looking at trying to get started. Which would involve the county, of course, and I'm sure the city will be involved. So that was a great, exciting meeting. I also had our final interview for the Inspire Initiative Project Coordinator, which will be starting in 2 weeks. The Inspire Initiative, just for those who, people have been calling about it, but just to let people know, the Inspire Initiative is established to pursue groups and activities geared toward sustaining and improving mental and physical well-being of Hamilton County youth. And basically, if there are any groups in the community that are doing great things with great young people, and we want to just inspire the adults that are working with these young people to continue the fight, and that we will undergird some of those costs that you are experiencing, because we don't want you to stop doing that. In addition, I met with JFS staff regarding Beyond Your Imagination, which is another initiative that I brought forth this year. And Beyond Your Imagination is basically foster, adoptive, and kinship families that have young people that have seen other young people go to concerts and events. And we want them to experience the same thing, same things that other young people are experiencing. And so JFS is going to lead the charge on that. And so they have a great schedule of opportunities for foster and adoptive young children to be a part. Actually, it goes all the way up to 21. So it will be coming or hitting the press very soon. We're going to have that group come here and talk to us, and the residents can hear more about the initiative. I met also with, let me see, all right, okay. The small grants application, let me say a little bit about that. The small grants application will be coming out. That's another initiative that I started this year, and my colleagues were in agreement with that we were giving monies to the large grant people. The Jazz Festival and also Blink received lots of money because they had a $40 million at least economic impact. Well, I thought it would be great for those neighborhoods and communities that are having small events that we help to undergird them, because they have also suffered from the pandemic. And so we're going to have those applications. Just keep your ear to the ground and get on hamilton-co.org on our website to see when those applications are coming out. So, and lastly, let me make sure. I like to say it's still Black History Month. I just have a few. I always try to bring out or highlight some of our African American people that have done great things. Marie Brown invented the home security system. Dr. Drew, we know a lot about, invented the first large-scale blood bank. And Thomas Jennings invented dry cleaning. So I just wanted to emphasize some of that and talk about, so there's a lot of great things going on in the county, and we want to make sure that we market those things. And not only that our public know, and that we appreciate the staff that are making this happen. So thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. And Commissioner Dumas, you mentioned the small grants and when they're going out. Maybe just request that we're notified, and also so we can help get the word out, or at least get to us how we're getting the word out, so everyone has an opportunity. I know that's one of the things you want to make sure that everyone knows when it's going out.
Sure, and I appreciate that. I talked to Jeff during our meeting this morning that we get a chance to even review the application and what's being asked of those entities that are out in the community, because we don't want to make it hard to apply. So certainly you guys will get a copy of that application.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your work on that. Also, I got a couple things. So we had our first ever Black-owned business day, and the day included a roundtable where businesses could talk directly and meet our administrator, our director of equity and inclusion, Mr. Bell. They got to meet the procurement director, Ms. Williams. They got to meet Laura Bruner from the port. They got to meet Ready Cincinnati. We also had the SBA here. In addition, we had the City of Cincinnati, who does the certification, because we don't do certifications yet. And they got a chance to introduce themselves and talk about their businesses. And we were hoping to have maybe 20, maybe 30 businesses. We ended up with 100, close to 100 businesses that showed up. And they also, Alloy was there, our economic development arm, our Office of Small Business was there. And they got a chance to meet everyone and be able to talk to them about their businesses. Then we were able to come in here for Black Business Day, and we were able to have Robert Bell, Mr. Bell, our Director of Equity and Inclusion, present the disparity study. We had the results already, but to present the first time ever this county having a real program that will be inclusive for women-owned, minority-owned, and small businesses. And that was no small situation. There are various levels of interaction that we can do to make sure that no one is excluded. It's not an exclusionary thing. And our data, of course, we had to get the data, but we already knew what it was, that these businesses, minority businesses and women-owned businesses and small businesses have been kind of excluded to being able to participate. So they were paying taxes, but they had taxation without participation. So we were able to take action, but we also have other things that we were able to do that Mr. Ludo can do, and he is doing at his level, where they have consultants and no bid contracts, and we're improving in that category. Still have work to do, but we're improving. The diversification of boards, which our board has been very intentional about, and now we see more diversity on our board appointments. Our hiring practices, we're seeing more diversity in leadership roles. So there were a lot of areas that people could participate. Some people may not be able to do business directly with the county, but may need a small business loan or know about the grant program or technical assistance. And so this was a good start. I'm excited about it. And it was historic, and while, may not been in the news, it was in the news when they put our bad numbers out there, but they didn't put it in the news when we had 100 businesses here working together with some good news. So I want to put the good news out there. This is just the beginning, and people can reach out to Robert Bell. I want to also put, for our colleagues, Holly, who is here, and Mark, we passed in our budget a Office of Small Business, and the county has never had an Office of Small Business. And that's something that I thought was very important, and I want to thank my colleagues for supporting it. We also have in the budget a Small Business Day that was passed that I advocate. It's one thing to have an office, now we got to let people know about the office. And having a Small Business Day, we're looking at Small Business Month, which is in May, to have a Small Business Day that Holly and Mark are working on along with the Office of Small Business. And we want to make that a big deal where people can come and meet with procurement and, talk about contracts. People at the same time have certification, kind of be a one-stop thing for the county. And one of the goals that I have, and I stated it at the State of the County, is for us to be #1 for small businesses. That is the growth area. So very excited. We are on a great path, and excited we were able to do that for Black History Month. And people are still talking about it. People have been bragging and very pleased about what we were able to do this week. Also wanted to say the 513 relief bus, still getting rave reviews with that. It was in Forest Park this past Tuesday. We were here, so we couldn't get to the bus, but it was in Forest Park. And today, the bus is in Norwood, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're in Norwood helping. So the bus is moving and it's getting around. And if people want to know the schedule, they can go to 513relief.org. And I want to also emphasize that the bus not only has the economics, but we also have free health services. And I think that's very critically important. So I wanted to highlight that. I had a chance to be the keynote speaker for Fifth Third Bank's Black History Month celebration yesterday, and they had a packed house out there, and I want to thank them for allowing me and inviting me to come and be the keynote speaker. Today, I just left the VA Medical Center as their keynote speaker for Black History Month, and I want to thank the VA for inviting me as well. And got a chance to share a lot about what we're doing as a board, in addition to giving a very soul-searching speech at those two locations. So I wanted to highlight that. I wanted to just bring to attention to the board, because we don't get a chance to, we're not allowed to talk to each other. I know we've got our chief of staffs, but it's sometimes a little bit different when we get a chance to hear it directly from us. I wanted to indicate that a couple things. I talked with Mr. Ludo about we're getting ready to get into this convention district and hotel. And I'm very concerned about the hotel being at the tail and not at the head of the discussion. And we've been having a lot of information given to us about the financing and saying that we got to move really quick about making decisions, and the financing, none of it includes the hotel. I'd asked Mr. Ludo to allow for the hotel to people who have, now that they have been selected, the Portman Group, to now come before us to the public and be able to be in public to talk about what is this hotel. what is going to be needed. Now, I've been told privately that we're not going to need any county money. There'll be no risk, no debt service, and all that, but I haven't gotten that in writing. And I know that Commissioner Dumas, when you were sitting in the seat I'm in, you had requested that we have a monthly update about this. We haven't had any more updates. And I know people are meeting individually. I had a meeting scheduled, and they said, and Mr. Leeper was not feeling well, so he wasn't able to meet. But at the same time, now we're moving forward. And I do have some concerns. I think that these things need to be out in the open of what we're doing. When we had your last meeting, Commissioner Dumas, when you sat in this seat, the last meeting we had, we were shown a parking garage with no funding needed from us. Now I get a report that we need funding from us. And I just don't, I want to get all this stuff from behind the curtain and get it out to the public, because I didn't know we were financing or putting any money toward a garage next to the convention center. And I believe we got the tape, but I went back and I don't remember in that discussion anything needed from us. But now I'm saying they want us to hurry up and put up $275,000 guarantee per year on the garage next to the convention center, next to the hotel that, by the way, we haven't met the developer of the hotel. I haven't seen anything in writing from the developer, and we don't even know how much it's gonna cost of the hotel. So I had asked that we could spend some time on understanding what's going on with the hotel. And since we will not be going to Lincoln Heights, I know the both of you said you want more time, that's fine. But I would like next Tuesday to at least have the hotel people, since I'm being asked, that we got to move quickly. So I hope that, you know, I would be able, just like each of us are elected, that we would have the opportunity to ask the questions. I have a great concern that unelected people are making decisions. They have all the information. We're getting bits and pieces, but I'm talking about all the information. And we, at least myself, I can't speak for you two, I don't have all the information. All I'm getting is bits and pieces, but the people elected me, elected y'all, but I'm only speaking for myself, elected me to know all the information. And so I don't know why we're on a fast-paced run with this one, but then we get to other things like the gun range. We're walking the track, but now we're running the track when we're on this, and this is a lot more complicated. So I just wish we could be out in the open, then all of us can ask questions, and I will know your questions, you'll know my questions, I'll know your concerns, you'll know my concerns, and the people who will have to be the people that pay for it, they would also have concerns. Even though you might say, well, these are the people that come and book hotels. Well, the Music Fest weekend is the highest hotel rate in the county. I mean, they tripled the rate. But the people that's paying that there, I don't see them being able to have any say about where the money goes. So I've expressed this, it's not nothing new, Mr. Ludo, but I want it out in the public because I like to keep things out in the public if possible. And I just think we should have the hotel, because that was the big deal. We got here because of a hotel situation. I don't have a date on when the hotel will be finished. I know when the World Cup was coming, they said the hotel had to be finished by 2026. Are we keeping that date? Or is it because they're not coming now, the hotel is not as important? So I like to have that. I know you asked for a monthly, and now that I'm in this seat, I want to continue with that request that you had so that we can not get it on Tuesday and we voting on it on Thursday. I like to have it where we at least have some chance to have some real interaction. I know there are private meetings, but we're dealing with public money. And I like to keep those things, and something this big, I like to have in the public. I also asked, what is the plan for that whole area, from Fountain Square all the way down to the convention center? Saks Fifth Avenue's been bought. The Hilton Hotel was I think they went bankrupt. Who gonna own all of that? What is the whole plan? Or will someone be coming back to us in a couple months saying they need some money for this and money for that? We kind of need to have all of that out in the open. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I saw in the report, the last report from the administrator, this $275,000 per year, I believe, to secure a garage that we have nothing ownership. And when it was presented in the staff meeting, it mentioned nothing about us having to put any money toward that. So that's what I asked the administrator, and I asked if we could have the hotel people come in and at least present to us what is the hotel, what's their intention, who's paying for it, is there any money, and get them on record if it's no money will ever be needed from us. Maybe just incentives, which that's a whole different conversation. So those are my talking points. I do have 6 by-leaves for the Convention Facilities Authority that need to be appointed for a meeting tomorrow. I would like to advance those at this time and then turn it over to the administrator for his comments. The names or resolutions in front of us are by leave 1 through 6 I'm sorry, 1 through 5, I'm so sorry, 1 through 5, and then, Mr. Dumas, that's your by leave, the last.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, so we'll do,
Move it if you want.
can I do 6? Sure. Okay, is that okay? 1 through 6, okay. 1 through 6, resolution 1 through 5 are appointing the following members to the Convention Facilities Authority: Dan Unger, Kevin Hardman, Bimal Patel, hope I said that right, please forgive me, Donna Jones Baker, Joe Mallory, and a resolution appointing 1 member to the Hamilton County Transportation Improvement District representing Commissioner Dumas, Steve Sunderland. And I would move approval items 1 through 6.
Second.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes,
Commissioner Dreehouse,
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
thank you.
I would have commented. You jumped the gun on me there, Leslie. So I just wanted to say that, I want to especially thank Kevin Ty and my office for helping put these resolutions together, and thank the people that are willing to continue to serve. Some of these folks have been serving and are going to continue to serve, Bimal Patel in particular, as you say, from the Hoteliers Association. And we've got a couple new names here, too. So I just want to thank the folks that are stepping up to serve on the CFA and on the TID. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I'd be remiss not to thank Quentin Monroe from our office, because I know we had to, and I want to thank all of your willingness to allow us some flexibility so we could get some new names in here. So thank y'all so much for that. I know it's been some time working on it. Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a comment, in addition to what was already said, boards and commissions are extremely important. We have them all listed on our website, hamilton-co.org, and we need you, because ultimately you get in those boards and commissions and then you funnel stuff through us, to us, your recommendations, and you are very important if you're looking for something to do. There are a lot of vacancies, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Mr. Aludo.
Madam President, Commissioners, I do not have any by leaves specifically today, just one comment, and it gets back to the events from on Tuesday. I just wanted to again thank Robert Bell and his staff now, Gabrielle Whaler, for all of their work on the disparity study. That was an incredible amount of work that they put together. Robert in particular leading that charge as essentially a one-person office for a significant amount of time. So to get where we got as quickly as we did, given that, and especially given the fact that some of this started over COVID as well, when people couldn't work in the office, et cetera, to be where we were and to be able to do what we did on Tuesday to advance minority, women-owned business purchasing, et cetera, was a really great thing for the county. I just wanted to thank Robert for all of his efforts on that.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to the calendar. I forgot to ask, was anybody on Zoom waiting on us? Okay. All right. Item number 1 is our engineer.
Thank you, Commissioners. Todd Long, Chief Deputy Engineer. I know Eric is sitting behind me. He asked me to take the
Yeah.
course today, so
He's back. He's back.
appreciate
We
that.
saw him sneaking in here.
Yeah, he wanted to participate as well. So item number 1 is a resolution authorizing a joint agreement between Hamilton County and the Board of Trustees for Springfield Township for the installation of a solar-powered school speed limit sign on Winton Road for Brent Elementary. This item comes at no cost to the county. The township will be fronting the dollars associated with this sign for its duration. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
Okay, any questions?
Sounds good to me.
Just one question, is this an expansion of the solar speed limit, street limit signs? I mean, in other words, will other schools in that area also be getting this?
Not specifically in that area, that, to my knowledge, Commissioner. These types of signs come at the request of either the townships or the school systems if they feel that they need something in addition to the signage that's required by law that we place on school zones.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll make a motion, pass item number 1.
Second?
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Item number 2 and 3, we have Holly, the administrator. I don't know if you want to. These are back from our ARPA dollars, and we had 2 last week that we passed for teen suicide prevention, and we've got 2 this week. So, Holly, you want to introduce these items, or Jeff, did you want to? Okay.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, Board. The Board, as you recall, authorized $1.5 million in its ARPA funds for nonprofit organizations to expand mental health and suicide prevention strategies. I think we all know this is an effort to combat the increase in mental health and teen suicide. So, President Reese, as you mentioned, the Board did authorize an agreement last week, and we have 2 more this week that we're excited to move forward on. And those are items 2 and 3 on your agenda. And before I move on, I was remiss last week not to thank Sarah Adams from our team, who is the reason we're pushing these through right now. So I want to thank her for all her hard work in getting these agreements moving forward. So item 2 is an agreement with Catholic Charities of Southwest Ohio in the amount of $70,000. Catholic Charities Mental Health Services treats a large percentage of immigrant youth. With, according to their application, 75% of counseling sessions are provided for Spanish speakers, and 95% of their clients aged 12 to 20 were immigrants or children of immigrants. And from our understanding and talking with our mental health experts at the Mental Health Board, there is currently a gap in Spanish-speaking or bilingual providers. So we're happy to recommend this grant for your consideration today, which will expand training for their staff to implement an evidence-based treatment, as well as additional assessments for their staff to make sure that their clients get the appropriate treatment needed. So this is, again, in the amount of $70,000. Patrick Reynolds Berry, who is the Chief Operating Officer for Catholic Charities, is here today to answer any specific questions you may have about this program. But again, it is $70,000, largely focused on Spanish-speaking youth to expand their treatment programming. If there's any questions, or do you want me to introduce Patrick?
Yes, Mr. Berry, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Commissioners, for this opportunity to partner with you in the important work we're doing at Catholic Charities Southwestern Ohio. Just last week, the CDC released a study about teen mental health illness in the United States, and nearly 3 in 5 U.S. teen girls felt persistently sad or hopeless in 2021. The report also suggests that Hispanic youth are more likely than other youth to experience persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness. At this time, 87% of the youth we're serving through mental health services in Hamilton County are Hispanic, and 70% require a Spanish-speaking therapist. So through our bilingual outpatient counseling program, we have licensed mental health therapists who work with our kids, and we see a decrease in depressive symptoms throughout the course of treatment, measured by a standardized assessment tool. So through the support of the Hamilton County ARPA Teen Suicide Prevention Grant, we'll build on our linguistically appropriate and culturally competent interventions by adding dialectical behavioral therapy, or DBT, to our toolbox. So DBT is an evidence-based model shown to be effective, more effective than other interventions at decreasing suicidal behavior amongst adolescents. So we'll be using this in individual treatment as well as group treatment with Hispanic Latino youth, especially in the summer, to help bridge the gap between school years where support is less consistent. So we're confident this grant and our collective work will be a lifeline for Hispanic Latino families in Hamilton County. So thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions, Vice
I
President?
do have a quick question. So how do you connect with the youth, or rather, what is the access point for Catholic Charities to identify the youth that are most at risk?
That's a great question. So Catholic Charities Southwestern Ohio has a various programs that kind of funnel individuals to our mental health counseling. Sukasa Hispanic Center is one of our programs. It sees thousands of individuals every year. We also, through our mental health program, partner with Princeton City Schools and work closely with others in the community and in the school systems to support the mental health needs of Latino youth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple comments with those statistics, and this is great. My concern is I want to make sure that the monies that we're giving you are not primarily used for staffing, which we have to have, but more directly into services. And so I know how high staffing can be sometimes. So Holly, I guess the question is to you. Was this your request of $70,000? So you didn't ask for any more than that?
No, this was our request.
Okay, I wanted to give you more. Okay. But I'm just saying, but oftentimes what happens is people think, not you, well, I'll ask for this, see if we get it. But I would say, we don't want to break the bank or anything like that, but what you need, tell us what you need. And I'm not saying we'll do anything different, we're going to pass this. But if you need $85,000, put it in and we may only approve 70. So whoever's listening, I'm saying that. Tell us what you need. And so I appreciate that and I'm happy that we're able to help you. You guys have been in existence for many, many years, so thank you.
Thank you so much. And if I could respond?
Sure.
What we need are more licensed bilingual therapists. There are so few in this region, and we're excited that we're actually just hired someone who's moving here from Texas, who speaks Spanish and fluently, and will be working with us and help us implement this grant.
Great, fantastic.
Awesome.
That's all I have.
Thank you. We'll go ahead to item number 3 before we pass them.
Great, thank you. Yes, item 3 is an agreement with Mental Health America of Northern Kentucky and Southwest Ohio in the amount of $225,000. This program will build upon the organization's existing evidence-based training called Mental Health First Aid by introducing the Teen Mental Health First Aid directly to teens age 15 to 18. We're excited to bring this new training to Hamilton County. And we, again, are told by our experts at Mental Health Recovery Board that there's currently a gap in teen mental health first aid trainers. So this proposal will help address that need in our community. Keith Klein is here with Mental Health of America to answer, again, any specific questions or to elaborate on their application.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you today. I couldn't be more excited about the potential opportunity to partner with Hamilton County to bring mental health first aid to the young people that live here. My background is in public education. I was a public educator for 34 years, elementary, high school principal and superintendent. And I will say that while mental health has always been a challenge, it's always been present. Even when I was a youngster, it was present. I'm so glad and grateful that we are, as a community, stepping up and recognizing the impact that mental health challenges are having on everyone, not just our young people. In this case, I having spent most of my adult life with teenagers, I will say that our kids are already talking about this work. They're already talking about mental health with each other. They're already talking with each other about suicide. It's on us as adults to provide them good information so that when they are having those conversations, they're informed and they're educated and they can help not just themselves, but help others that are maybe classmates or friends or family members. If we're going to change the stigma around mental health, we've got to start with our kids and let it grow. The folks in my generation I talked to Commissioner Driehaus before the meeting. Our generation, we never talked about those things. And so how do we help young people know how to have those conversations and how to connect a friend or a family member to the help that they need in order to lead a healthy life. And so certainly do appreciate your support around this initiative. Mental Health America has trained over the last 2 years with help from SAMHSA and OMAS over 20,000 adults. 20,000 adults who work with other adults, and included in that are adults who work with young kids. And so this grant really focuses on how do we educate our teens directly, and then how do we educate the staff in their schools so that they can relate and have conversations and be supportive around those young people as well. So we're very excited about it. I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit of information with you about that today. And we're ready to go. Every minute is another minute lost, especially when we're talking about young people and their lives. So thank you. Any questions?
Very much. The question, of course, this will be spent over in Hamilton County only.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Oh, absolutely. I've got my list of Hamilton County schools all ready to go.
And then are you dealing with just the schools? Or I guess going back to Vice President Dreehouse's question prior, how do you get to the kids?
Yeah, well, our model is set up so that we can connect with them directly in one of two ways. We're actually going to, as part of the grant, providing the training for 2 instructors, and matching funds through Mental Health America will train another 6. And so we'll be actually going into schools face-to-face, option 1. I like that one because I think face-to-face is very effective, especially with young people. The other option is we do kind of a hybrid blend where we're doing some of the work on site and some of the work virtually. And so as we work with schools and find out who is going to be joining this initiative, we'll work through how the direct service is going to be configured, depending on what the schools need. We shouldn't bring in a program and say, you need to do it this way. We need to work with the school to develop it and get it set up around their needs. And that's our goal.
Vice President Dreehouse.
Yes, I was going to ask the same thing about the access point, but one follow-up to that. So we heard in the previous presentation that there is a specific emphasis on Latino youth. Is there any emphasis related to this grant on any specific part of Hamilton County, and a demographic, any geographic area, anything like that?
We are looking at Hamilton County across the board, and looking specifically, it's written into the grant, looking specifically for those who are in socioeconomically disadvantaged, young people of color, both genders, sexual identity, all of those things. We're looking for a real representation that matches Hamilton County in the work that we're doing with schools.
Thank you.
Commissioner Dumas.
No questions.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion to approve items 2 and 3.
Second.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Holly. Now we'll go to the consent agenda. I'll ask Mr. Aludo to walk us through and identify those things that have financial implications.
Thank you, Madam President. So on the consent agenda, you have item number 4, which is a cooperative purchasing agreement with Office Depot and Staples for office supplies. We have item number 5, which is a bid recommendation ITB 014-23 for the coroner's office. This is a liquid chromatograph and mass spectrometer for $324,000. Items 6 and 7 are 2 vehicle purchases, both in the sheriff's office, one a Ford Explorer for $38,853 and a Chevy Tahoe for $45,755. We have item number 8, which is a resolution for cyber liability and network security insurance, the premium at $114,163. We have several JFS items. The first is a report of actions signed by the director. These are primarily workforce training, adoption placement, and interpretation services. And then we have items 10, 11, and 12. 10 and 11 are contracts related to parent education services for parents with children in our system. Item number 12 is an agreement, a $250,000 agreement with Beach Acres. This is for kinship navigation and coaching, crisis services, et cetera, for individuals who have accepted kin in lieu of foster care and a navigation and assistance program for them. We also have item number 13, which is a report from the sheriff of no objection to one liquor permit at Truva Cafe Mediterranean. And we have the treasurer's monthly investment report for January of 2023. And that is the consent agenda, commissioners.
Okay, thank you. I just want to highlight item number 4, just bringing this forward. I did talk with Mr. Ludo on this. This is having us an opportunity to get supplies from Staples and Office Depot, and that's fine, but wanted to make sure, I think we had Mr. Myron Hughes who came, and I think most of us know of Mr. Hughes. He has been meeting about getting a minority to help with supplies and not costing the taxpayers more money. And Mr. Ludo said this would not, I wanted to make sure this will not prohibit him from working on this with Mr. Bell for potential future opportunities.
Yeah, Madam President.
Or anyone else, but he had brought this up before.
Right, so this is one of our primary office supply contracts, but this doesn't prohibit people from getting future agreements, et cetera. And certainly office supplies and those smaller bids and purchases are things that we're going to continue to work on very intentionally through Robert Bell's office with the purchasing office, et cetera.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure of that. I'll open it up, Vice President Driehaus.
No questions.
Commissioner Dumas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a couple questions. Item number 5, Jeff, this equipment that's needed by the coroner, is this additional equipment? Is this new equipment? Or, and the other part of that question is there an expectation that the coroner does an inventory and then this particular equipment is old, or what? How does that work? Because $324,000 is a lot of money, and so can we expect other equipment to come forward, or does she have a plan on how that works?
Commissioner, I would have to check on the specific capital budget for the coroner's office and what they have prepared. I know this is a large piece of equipment that's meant to identify elements it's a piece of testing equipment that helps to identify elements in particular evidence, pieces of evidence. I don't know whether this is brand new or a replacement. I can certainly find out on that for you. And I can get you a more detailed description of the entire capital budget or capital equipment budget for the coroner's office as well. I just don't happen to have that handy.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it, because I would like to know if I'd be in expectation for another $300,000, and if so, that's okay if we know it, if I know it. Item 10, Justice Works. You were saying it's parenting education services for our children that are in the system. I'm looking at Justice Works. Is that the children that are in juvenile justice system, or just JFS, period?
I think that is just the name of the firm, but I believe Laura Wolf is on, so Laura can speak specifically to any particular group of children that Justice Works works with.
Okay, she did. Okay. You can see if she's there. And I would like to know how long that agreement is for.
Yeah, so I know this is the second extension of that agreement. So when Laura chimes in, she can talk about how long it's been in place.
I'm here, and I can
Yes.
speak to that a little bit. Justice Works is the name of the organization, so it is just their name. That's not specifically for kids in the juvenile justice system, and these are parenting ed services for all of our families within Children's Services. We have 4 vendors. Justice Works is one of the 4 vendors that are delivering those services. And I believe we have one more renewal on this, and then it'll be put out to bid again.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other info needed?
Yeah, item 12, I was wondering about Beach Acres as relates to the kinship navigation and coaching. Are they a new provider of that service, or is this an update?
This is actually a new service for us. specifically for this with Beach Acres, but Beach Acres had been working with the Ohio Children's Trust Fund and delivering kinship services to the region. But we wanted them to develop something specific for Hamilton County families that we could make referrals to.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I
No
believe-
problem.
Yeah, I think I might have. That's all I have.
And Madam President, Assistant Administrator Brugan has some additional information on the chromatograph at the coroner's office.
Yes, just did a quick call with the coroner's office, and they told me this is a new piece of equipment.
Okay.
It's entirely grant funded, and it will both speed up and increase the breadth of analysis that they can do with this sort of equipment.
How is it entirely grant funded? What am I missing? Because what number was that?
Well, the item shows, item number 5 shows the dollar amount. It does not show the funding source on it. So this is actually, this is $324,000 of grant funding.
It is grant funding.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Mr. Brugan, you're quick.
Yes.
Yep, sir.
I just like everybody's trying to pronounce chromatograph. You said it 5 times now.
Any other questions? No. Okay. Well, I would like to make a motion to approve items 4 through 14.
Second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
All right. I'll make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G4 to discuss collective bargaining. Planning and Development Director James Noyes. Do I have to read all that? Okay, I just need to, I already did it. Okay.
I'll second.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.